Hello, Homeworks members, and welcome to your 2022 district meeting. My name is Casey Phelan, and I'm the marketing manager here at Homeworks. I'm going to serve as your moderator for tonight's virtual event. Before we begin, I want to cover our meeting protocol. If you attended your virtual meeting last year, this should be a very similar experience for you. If you're a newcomer or a first-time virtual meeting participant, don't worry, the whole process is very easy, and we're here to help if you have any questions. Remember that we can neither see nor hear you during this meeting, but you will still be able to be a very interactive part of tonight's proceedings. The interaction on your end will be completed using the simple buttons that pop up on your Zoom webinar screen. The first button, Chat, is for making motions and making comments. Whenever a vote comes up this evening and the speaker asks, "Can I get a motion?" please type "So moved" in the chat box if you would like to make the motion. When the speaker asks for a second, please type "second" in the chat box if you would like to second the motion. You can also use the chat box if you have a comment that you'd like to make at any time during the meeting. One thing that we ask is that you do not ask questions using the chat button. Instead, if you have a question, please click on the Q&A button. This will bring up a box that allows you to enter a question and view the answers to your questions all in one place. Your questions may be answered via chat, which will show up in that box, or during the live Q&A portion with our CEO toward the end of the program, which will be noted in the box as well. Like last year, I will be monitoring your comments and questions throughout the meeting, and we will be sure to follow up with you after tonight's meeting if any of your questions are unable to be answered during the live event. One thing that will be different and improved from last year is the function you will use to vote on motions. This year, after a motion is made and seconded, voting options will pop up directly on your screen. You will then simply click on the button representing the way that you would like to vote. As the votes come in, the polling numbers will show up right there on the screen, so everyone can see the results in real time. Moving on, I hope you have your bingo cards ready for tonight. We had great participation from members who seemed to really enjoy the bingo game last year, so make sure to join in the fun during the meeting by listening for keywords and topics and checking off any that you hear us discuss tonight. If you get a vertical, horizontal, or diagonal bingo, write the account holder's name and homework service address on the card and return it to us by either placing a stamp on the card and putting it in a mailbox or by sending a picture of it to the email address on the screen now. Anyone who turns in a winning bingo card will be placed in a raffle for one of 3 grand prizes, including 6 months, 4 months, or 2 months of free Homeworks Connect service at the Super Connector package level. If you aren't able to be connected to Homeworks Connect yet, we can instead apply an equivalent bill credit to your electric or propane account, but these options will be discussed with the winner when we call to notify you of your winning. Please turn in your bingo card by June 1st to be entered into the raffle. Our grand prize winners will be announced and notified by June 3rd. I also want to remind you that if you'd like, you can follow along with some of the topics we discussed this evening in your digital district meeting booklet, which you should have received by email this afternoon. This helpful booklet can also be accessed at the address shown on the screen now. And lastly, as always, be sure to stay logged on until the end of this meeting so you don't miss out on the prize drawings that you were automatically entered into just by attending tonight. Our prizes include a 55-inch smart TV, a robot vacuum cleaner, Homeworks bill credits, gift cards to local businesses, and many other exciting big-ticket items. But you must be present to win, so be sure to stay with us. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoy the program that we put together for you tonight. Now let's get started. To officially kick off tonight's meeting, here is your District 5 Director, Corinna Batora.
Welcome, District 5 friends and neighbors. I'm Corinna Batora, and I've represented our district on the Tri-County Electric Board of Directors for 6 years now. As you know, we're back in virtual format this year by popular demand, and we're very excited to be here and have you with us tonight. So pop some popcorn, sit back in your recliner, and get ready to enjoy a great district meeting. One thing our members love about the virtual meeting format is that it allows people to attend who couldn't join us in person in the past due to scheduling conflicts and other obstacles. So if we have any newcomers attending their first district meeting with us tonight, I want to say welcome. It's wonderful to have new members become engaged with the co-op that we all own. And to everyone here this evening, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to participate in the democratic process of the co-op. Our district includes over 1,030 members residing in or receiving service in Gratiot and Saginaw counties, plus parts of Clinton and Montcalm counties. I'm currently finishing out my second 3-year term as your District 5 director, And as you know, I'm currently seeking re-election, and Jeff Falposh of St. John's is running against me. The results of that election will be announced by our corporate council here later this evening. Thank you all who voted in our director election. I'm eager for all of you to hear tonight about the very busy and productive past year we've had at Homeworks. There are so many exciting projects the staff is working on. First, and perhaps most impactful for you, we've been continuing to invest a significant amount of time and capital into the hardening of our electric system, which is making our electricity even more reliable. In addition to that, we've entered the final phase of our 5-phase build-out of the Homeworks Connect fiber internet network, which is bringing reliable broadband access to our rural communities in a time when it's needed more than ever before. And we've launched a new energy optimization program that we hope will benefit thousands of Homeworks members as they implement energy efficient measures at both their homes and businesses. The Homeworks employees working for you have also been able to maintain and improve upon our other excellent services, including Tri-County Propane, our People Fund and community outreach programs, and many others. CEO Chris O'Neill will tell you more about all these projects in his co-op update tonight, but we also have some co-op business to conduct tonight as well. In addition to electing your board representative every 3 years, you also choose delegates to attend our annual meeting. Then the delegates elect district officers each May. They include our district vice chair, Bob Peralewski from St. John's, who will conduct our brief business meeting in just a few minutes. Our secretary is Dan Harold, also from St. John's. Thank you so much, Bob and Dan, for your service to our district. Again, I'm thrilled to be with you tonight, and I'm so happy to have so many of our District 5 members engaging with the co-op in this format. Having informed member owners really does make Homeworks a stronger cooperative. Thank you all for allowing me the honor and privilege of serving as your district director. Now, if you would, please welcome CEO Chris O'Neill.
Thank you, Director Batora. District 5 members, welcome to your 2022 live streamed virtual district meeting. If you don't know me, I'm Chris O'Neill. I've been with Homeworks for over 20 years, and I became your CEO in May of 2020. I want to say that it is my great privilege to serve you. Like Director Batora mentioned, we are back in the virtual format this year in response to your feedback, which showed after last year's virtual district meetings that our membership overwhelmingly prefers the online format over in-person district meetings. I'm so happy to have you here with us tonight. The democratic process is one of the founding principles that sets co-ops apart from other types of utilities, and Homeworks depends on members like you who are willing to be involved and informed. Plus, I'm very excited to update you on the things that have been happening at Homeworks over the past year. Now, as you're showing by your participation here this evening as a member owner of the co-op, you have a voice and a vote in everything we do at Homeworks. I want to thank you for using that voice to select such good leaders to run your district meetings, serve as your nominating committees, and represent you on our board of directors. Corinna and her 6 fellow board members provide insightful leadership year in and year out that we truly value. As you know, Memorial Day is coming up in just a couple of weeks, and I want to take a moment to thank those of you who are veterans, as well as the families of those currently serving. Please know that your service is appreciated by everyone here at Homeworks. Now, for those of you who regularly attend your district meetings, this will be a little bit of old hat. But for the newcomers, we have a quick Co-op 101 here, as we do every year. I already mentioned one of the most important aspects of Homeworks is that you are not only a customer of the co-op, but also an owner. That's right. We are a not-for-profit utility service owned by you and about 23,000 of your neighbors across 13 of our rural Michigan service counties. You might know the history that it was members just like you in Eaton, Ingham, and Jackson counties who first formed our co-op over 80 years ago in 1937. At that time, electricity was just beginning to take hold, and the investor-owned utilities in our state were passing by our rural communities in favor of serving denser areas with larger profit potential. But rural folks tend to know how to take care of themselves. So a group of local farmers banded together and founded Tri-County Electric to serve their electricity needs. Over 8 decades later, we're still solely committed to serving you. Our only mission is to provide you with reliable energy, comfort, and communication solutions to enhance your quality of life. Speaking of communication solutions, you might have noticed the history that we just spoke of is repeating itself today when it comes to rural broadband access. Again, many of the investor-owned providers had opted to pass over large swaths of our rural territory in favor of serving denser areas, leaving a large portion of our members without the reliable internet service that's becoming more and more of a necessity. That's where our Homeworks Connect service comes in. Just like we did 80 years ago, your co-op is working to step in and fill the void for our members, and we couldn't be more proud of doing that for you. We'll talk a bit more about Homeworks Connect and all of our services later. First, I want to quickly highlight another thing that really sets co-ops apart, which is our concern for the communities that we serve. Our board of directors and employees all live right here in our rural mid-Michigan footprint, and that means we care very much about the communities that we serve. We try to do all we can to make a positive impact for the people who live here, especially those who are in need. One of the most important ways we try to fulfill that goal here at Homeworks is through our Tri-County People Fund. Our People Fund has granted over $2.5 million to families and organizations in need throughout our service territory since 1993. Recent People Fund grants in your area include $10,000 in grants to the I Am Safe Child Advocacy Center in Fenwick to support services for abused children, and a grant to the Ashley Fire Department for the purchase of thermal imaging cameras. Our People Fund is made possible by those of you who voluntarily round up your monthly electric bill to the nearest dollar. I want to thank you sincerely. That contribution equals just an average of $6 per member per year, but your spare change really adds up to help fulfill a need in our communities. Our People Fund board of 7 volunteers, one from each one of our districts, works very hard to make sure each grant request is considered with care. Here in District 5, your People Fund Director is Kevin Sopsey. Thank you, Kevin, for the time and compassion that you put into the service on the People Fund Board. The work you and your fellow board members do impacts hundreds of lives in our communities each year, and we couldn't do it without you. We appreciate you more than we can say. In addition to the People Fund, we have a couple other community programs that help make a big impact in our communities locally as well. This year, we made Touchstone Energy classroom technology grants to several local classrooms, including a $2,000 grant here in District 5 to Ovadelcy High School for science lab materials. We also awarded a $1,000 Touchstone Energy College Scholarship to 12 very deserving high school students whose households are served by our electric lines to help them further their education. Here in District 5, we awarded a scholarship to Evan Litweiler of Ovadelcy High School, who plans to attend Alma College in the fall. We've also tried to help meet other needs in our communities over the past year with some extra grants, donations, and community outreach whenever we've had the chance. To highlight some of those giving opportunities, we've put together a quick community impact video that we think you'll enjoy.
At Homeworks Tri-County Electric Cooperative, providing you with reliable electricity is what we do. It's a given. But Homeworks isn't just your electric provider. We're a part of your community. Beyond powering your homes and businesses, our ultimate goal is to empower our rural communities in ways that will improve your quality of life. That's why we are so committed to giving back. Over the past year, we've impacted students and teachers throughout our service territory by providing $30,000 in grants to support innovative learning opportunities in the classroom. We've helped 12 high school seniors in our area continue their education with $1,000 Touchstone Energy College scholarships. We've supported our local food banks and family resource organizations through $20,000 in co-bank sharing success donations. We've backed a variety of other nonprofit causes in our area with over $25,000 in community outreach sponsorships. And with the help of our members who round up their bills to support Operation Roundup, we've made a big difference for our neighbors in need, paying out over $68,000 in People Fund grants in 2021. Beyond the money donated, we're dedicated to being a trusted resource for our members and our communities. We provide electric safety programs, educational opportunities, career fair speakers, legislative advocacy, and so much more. After all, we are an electric cooperative, and we were built to serve you. Powering your homes is what we do. Empowering our rural communities is who we are. That's HomeWorks. That's the cooperative difference.
That really makes you feel good. And for me, personally, it makes me really proud to be part of a co-op. And since that video was put together, we've been able to make another very timely donation that I'm especially proud of. Last month, our employees decided to support Co-op Ukraine with a $15,000 donation of funds that we reallocated from a pool of money we originally raised with our employees and members in 2017 for an international electrification project that we ended up having to cancel. Now the money is being put to good use, helping to provide accommodations and meals for internally displaced Ukrainians during their time of need. The HomeWorks board, staff, and members truly do care about the communities that we serve, and I think that comes through in everything that we do. Thank you for embodying the cooperative spirit and helping us to make that impactful community outreach program happen year in and year out. All right, just one more quick update before we start your business meeting. You might not be aware that we recently reopened our lobbies effective April 1st. So if you'd like to come and see us in person, we're now open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Our drive-throughs and phone lines remain open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and our office and field employees are all working diligently and safely to serve your needs. I'll be back with a brief pre-recorded operations update for you in a few minutes. First, you need to conduct your annual business meeting. Let's quickly review the purpose of the meeting. We ask our members to come out to district meetings each year, first, to conduct the business of the cooperative, second, to elect delegates to our annual meeting in August, and third, to elect district officers to run these meetings and serve as the nominating committee every 3 years. Speaking of our annual meeting, it'll take place virtually this year on Saturday, August 20th via this same Zoom webinar platform. If you elected to serve as an annual meeting delegate or alternate when you registered for this meeting, you will receive more information on that in the mail in the coming months as the meeting date gets closer. Now, let's bring up your district officers to conduct your annual business meeting. The bylaws provide us with a suggested agenda. Remember, this business meeting is when you will use the chat box to type in a motion or a second, and the polling buttons that pop up on your screen to support or oppose a motion. Your district vice chair, Bob Puralewski, will now come up to conduct your business meeting. Good evening, Bob.
Thank you, Chris. I'm Bob Puralewski, and I was elected as our district vice chair last year. I'm glad to be here with you tonight. HomeWorks Executive Assistant Michelle Hune just informed me that we do have a quorum with 57 member households in attendance tonight. Thank you for taking the time to log on. Let's start our business meeting off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Now we'll have our secretary, Dan Harold, take care of our next agenda item.
Thank you, Bob. The notice of the meeting, proof of mailing, and 2021 meeting minutes are on page 4 and 5 of your district meeting booklet. I'm going to take a motion that we dispense of reading these and accepting them as present. Bob.
Thank you, Dan. Can we have a second? Our moderator tells us that we have a motion and a second to accept the notice of the meeting and proof of mailing and the minutes from our last meeting as presented. Please vote on this motion using your polling screen now. Thank you. The motion carried. When you registered to attend the meeting, you were asked if you wanted to be invited as a delegate to the HomeWorks virtual annual meeting in August. Now, Executive Assistant Michelle Hune will read the names of those who signed up to serve as the 2022 annual meeting delegates.
Okay, we have Tom Batora, Rebecca Chase, Joshua Hart, Valerie Heedy, Robert Holsey, Sarah Killingsworth, John Lloyd, Crystal Mitchell, Joe Milani, Richard Rosenberger, Hazel Schneider, Maggie Schultz, Joe Simon, Kevin Sopsey, Doris Sutton, Sonia Warnock, Rochelle Weaver, Deborah Weber, Rebecca Wetzel, and Gail Bennett.
Thank you to everyone who volunteered to serve as a delegate to the annual meeting. Is there a motion to approve the 2022 voting delegate list? We have a motion. Can I get a second? It has been moved and seconded to approve the delegates. Please vote now using the functions on your screen. Motion carried. Is there anyone here tonight who is not already on the list but interested in being invited as a delegate to the annual meeting this year? Please contact Homeworks Executive Michelle Hune as the email address on the phone or the phone number on the list on the screen now. Mr. Odell, please come forward for the election of district officers.
Thank you, Bob. First, let me remind you what our volunteer district officers do for your cooperative. The chair typically runs the annual membership meeting. The vice chair steps in if the chair is not available, as Bob is doing here tonight. The secretary reads the notice of mailing and calls for approval of the minutes from the previous year's meeting, as Dan did for us this evening. Every 3 years, the officers also serve as the nominating committee when your district's board seat comes up for election. That was their job this year. Nicole Klakota has been your district chair, but she stepped down earlier this year because she is no longer an active member of the co-op. I want to thank Nicole for her years of service as your officer. Since Nicole stepped down, Bob, your vice chair, has stepped in as your chair. Director Batora has nominated Bob to officially take over as your chairperson here tonight. Are there any other nominations from the floor? If so, please type the name into the chat box now. If there are no other nominations, I would entertain a motion to elect Bob Purlewski as chair. We have a motion. Do we have a second? It has been moved and seconded to elect Bob Purlewski as district chair. Please vote using the polling buttons on your screen now. Thank you. The motion is carried. Congratulations, Bob. Like I mentioned, Bob has been serving as your district vice chair. So with him moving to chair, you will need to elect a new vice chair now. Director Batora has nominated Becca Wetzel of Elsie for vice chair. Are there any other nominations from the floor? If not, I would entertain a motion to elect Becca Wetzel as district vice chair. We have a motion. Do we have a second? It has been moved and seconded to elect Becca Wetzel as vice chair. Please vote now. The motion is carried. Congratulations, Becca, and thank you for your willingness to serve. Your district secretary is Dan Harold. Dan has indicated he would agree to serve as district secretary again. Are there any other nominations from the floor? If not, I would entertain a motion to re-elect Dan Harold as District Secretary. We have a motion. Do we have a second? It has been moved and seconded to elect Dan Harold as Secretary. Please vote using the polling on your screen now. Motion is carried. Congratulations and thanks to all of you. Now I'll turn it back over to Bob.
Thank you, Mr. O'Neill. Is there any other business to come before the district? If not, I will accept the motion to adjourn. We have a motion. Is there a second? Moved and seconded. Please vote using the polling functions on your screen now. Pause for a polling to come in. Watch for the, oh, never mind. Thank you. Motion carried. We are adjourned. Thank you for participating in your business meeting. Now I'll hand it over to Homeworks Corporate Counsel, Dan Templeton, for our director election report. Good evening, Dan.
Good evening, Bob. As Vice Chair of District 5, Bob also served on the district nominating committee this year, along with Secretary Dan Harold. With the mail balloting this year, the nomination process had a slightly earlier timeline than in the past. A notice was printed in the January issue of Country Alliance magazine informing members of the election for board of directors seat this year. It also stated who the nominating committee is and what the qualifications are to serve as a director of the cooperative. The nominating committee accepted suggestions for qualified candidates from any member in the district. By February 4th, the nominations had to be submitted to the office of the cooperative for verification. This year, your nominees were incumbent director Corinna Batora of Elsie and challenger Jeff Felposh of St. John's. The nomination report was posted in a public place at the cooperative offices so members could see the nominations. Nominations by petition were accepted until February 21st in case someone decided to nominate themselves or a neighbor. There were no nominations by petition. The nominations and candidate biographies were published in the April issue of Country Lines, along with a mail ballot and an envelope addressed to an independent balloting firm. Members were told they could vote by mail by May 2nd. Tonight, we have a sealed envelope with the mail balloting results provided by that independent balloting firm, and I will now announce the election results. Congratulations, Director Corinna Batora. You were reelected to the office of Director for District 5. The nominee will be seated at the cooperative's annual meeting in August. I want to thank all of the District 5 members who took part in the democracy of the co-op by casting their vote. The voice that you have in the operation of your co-op is something that really sets Homeworks apart from investor-owned utilities. Now let's turn it over to Director Batora for a few words to the membership of District 5.
Thank you, everyone. My husband said I should say thank you very much, like an Elvis impersonator, but I can't do it very well. But I want to thank you so much for participating in our election process, and thank you for entrusting me in being your director. I appreciate it. Now I'd like to turn it back over to Casey Thalen, our moderator.
Thank you, Corinna. And thank you to all of our district officers and all members who voted in the business meeting tonight. Now we'll move on to the co-op update portion of our meeting. CEO Chris O'Neill has pre-recorded a great informative update for you. And at the conclusion of the briefing, Chris will be back up here live in person to answer your questions. Remember to use the Q&A box to enter any questions that you would like to pose to Chris or any of our staff members. Now, sit back and enjoy Chris's co-op update.
Hello, Homeworks members. I'm so glad that you've taken the time to participate in our 2022 virtual district meeting. Your co-op can undergo a significant amount of growth and change in a year's time. And that's definitely been the case this year. I'm excited for the chance to tell you about all of the projects we've been able to work on and to improve and expand our services that we provide to you. So let's get started. First off, I want to take a minute to recognize the 107 employees who make everything we do at Homeworks possible. Just last month, we celebrated these talented men and women with Field Operations Appreciation Day and Administrative Appreciation Day. Those special days gave me and my management team the opportunity to reflect just a small token of our gratitude we feel for the work our employees put into the co-op day in and day out, and especially what they've been able to accomplish in the face of unprecedented circumstances over the past few years. As you know, nothing has been business as usual lately. Between the challenges of the pandemic, inflationary pressures, labor shortages, and supply chain issues, our employees have had to continually adapt to find ways to deliver the same reliable services you've come to expect from us. I can tell you they have came through every time, helping us to meet and exceed all of our benchmarks over the past year, even during this uncertain time. As a Homeworks member, you've got an exceptional team working on your behalf, and as your CEO, I couldn't be more proud to lead them. Now, one thing that really separates us as a rural electric cooperative from the larger investor-owned utilities in the state is that our employees are members of the communities we serve. The same staff member you encounter restoring your power on Monday or answering your call to the office on Tuesday might be coaching your child in youth soccer or teaching a Sunday school class at your church on the weekend. That's one of the reasons that we created a new program this year that I'm really excited about, which is our Employee Community Engagement Program. This program encourages our team members to make a difference in our local service area through meaningful volunteer opportunities. I'm proud to say that since the program launched in February, our employees have already served nearly 250 volunteer hours in our local communities. If you have a project or an organization in your community that is in need of some good volunteers, be sure to let us know so we can pass the opportunity along to our employees. Concern for our community is one of the 7 cooperative principles that guide us in everything that we do here at Homeworks, and we try to embody that in all that we do. Another cooperative principle is member economic participation. Because you are a member owner of Homeworks with a financial stake in the co-op, we strive to always provide you with a transparent look at our operations and our financial status each year. You'll find a detailed financial report on pages 8 and 9 and 12 and 13 of your district meeting booklet. You'll see in the report that the co-op is continuing to grow slowly and steadily with a net of 285 new active meters in 2021. 2021 energy sales were also up slightly with a 2.9% increase in kilowatt hour sales over 2020. Our costs have also gone up, which, as you know, necessitated a rate increase earlier this year, which I'll talk about more in just a minute. But with that increase and the effective long-term planning of our accounting team and our board, we've been able to keep our overall financial numbers strong, which is no small accomplishment in these times. I'm proud to report that the financial status of both the cooperative and our subsidiary is healthy. I mentioned that you are part owner of Homeworks, but did you know that means you get a share in our profits? That's right. Being a part of a co-op means that when we have operating margins, that money gets allocated back to you, the members, as capital credits based on your share of electricity purchases during the year. In fact, you should have seen that allocation from 2021 on your recent May bill statement. That allocation of margins helps make up your equity in the co-op. Our bylaws call for us to use those funds as needed as operating capital for the cooperative. Then, during the years that our board deems the financial status of the co-op will allow it, we retire some of our capital credits and return them to you, typically as a credit on your bill. So far, we have returned over $24 million in member equity to you and your neighbors. Your board voted not to make a capital credit retirement this year due to the significant capital we are investing in the electric system hardening and the deployment of our fiber internet network to benefit all of our members. But don't worry, that equity is yours, and you can expect it to be returned to you in the future, even if you move away off of our lines. I can tell you that our current plan and goal is to be able to bring forward a recommendation to the board to make a capital credit retirement in 2023. As always, we will keep you updated on the status of your capital credit allocation and retirement through Country Lines Magazine and direct mail communications. Okay, I just mentioned the work we're putting in to harden our electric system. So now is a great time for an electric reliability update. I'm excited to report that your power was over 99.9% reliable in 2021. That is in large part due to the investment we've made to continually harden our electric system against wind and storms. Again, this past year, we maintained our regular cycle of checking our rights of way and clearing trees away from our lines. It's probably not something that you think about often, but this really does make a huge difference in your reliability, since trees are by far the #1 cause of outages. We have also continued to replace hundreds of aging poles and other infrastructure from the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. You can see the obvious difference these upgrades make in the durability and resiliency of our system. And whenever we have an efficient opportunity to do so, we've continued to work to move circuits closer to roads for easier access. That helps us respond quicker when you do have an outage. Some of these maintenance and upgrade projects have been part of our make-ready work for the construction of our fiber internet network. I've told you before that since our fiber network follows our electric lines, everything we do to prepare and upgrade the system for fiber naturally benefits the electric system too. That means that even if you don't sign up for our Homeworks Connect service yourself, you're still benefiting from the project, which is a win-win all around. Now, there's no denying the fact that the cost of maintaining a reliable electric system, like most costs in the current environment, are on the rise. Everything from contractor and material costs to the expenses of hardening our system and keeping the rights of way around our lines clear of trees have significantly increased in price throughout the past year. In order to maintain equity and continue to qualify for the type of debt financing offers that financially benefit the co-op, while also continuing to meet our high standard of service, it was necessary for us to increase our rates in February to cover these rising costs. This increase was implemented into our availability charge, which is the fixed portion of our bill. The availability charge is designed to cover these costs of maintaining a distribution system to serve you before you ever even turn on your light switch. For most of you, as residential members, the availability charge increased from $24.50 to $31 a month. It is important to note that as a not-for-profit co-op, our rates are set only to adequately cover our cost of service and nothing more. Any overcollection or margins is eventually returned to you as capital credits. Fortunately, the electric distribution rate increase was somewhat offset by a reduction in our energy optimization surcharge this year. Still, I understand that any increase in your monthly expenses can come as a frustration and a challenge. That's why I wanted to address this with you here and reassure you that we remain committed to keeping our cost and our rates as low as possible, while still providing you with reliable electricity that you can count on. Even with an increase in our bill, the average residential Homeworks member is still able to power their home for a day for less than the cost of a fast food meal. This shows that despite rising costs, our electricity remains a great value for those that we serve. As a Homeworks member, you can be confident in the knowledge that your investment into your co-op is paying off in a big way. Our electric distribution system is one of the very best in the state, providing you with power that was over 99.9% reliable last year. And we continue to upgrade and improve it every day to serve you even better. So that was an update on our distribution side of your electricity. Now, with a quick update on the electric generation and transmission side of things, we have a word from a representative of our power supplier, Wolverine Power Cooperative.
Hello, my name is Zach Anderson, the Vice President and Chief Financial Officer at Wolverine Power Cooperative. Wolverine is proud to serve as the power supplier to Homeworks Tri-County Electric. Our mission is focused on delivering affordable and reliable power supply for the benefit of our members. We do this as a not-for-profit electric cooperative, just like Homeworks Tri-County, and we live the cooperative business model by retiring all of our profits back to our members in the way of capital credits. In fact, we've retired over $100 million in capital credits in the last decade to our cooperative members. With that, I want to provide you an update tonight on three things. 1, fiber, 2, affordability, and 3, reliability. On the fiber front, you're likely familiar with Homeworks Tri-County's investment in fiber to the home to deliver high-quality, high-speed internet to its rural customers here in Michigan. We believe this is a great initiative as it supports economic benefits to members around the lower peninsula of Michigan. Wolverine, for its part, has been investing in fiber as well. And we do this at the transmission level on our transmission system, having installed to date 700 miles on our 1,600 miles of transmission around the state. This provides Wolverine some key advantages. First and foremost, it provides us high-speed connectivity to our rural distribution, transmission stations, and substations around the state. It does this in a way that is more cyber secure than anything else that's offered on the market, as we can secure within that fiber network, secure channels from a cyber perspective so the bad guys can't get in. The other advantage that fiber provides us is that we can help support reliability and resiliency to our members like Homeworks that are delivering fiber to the home. This reliability and resiliency is paramount in that it allows better connectivity all of the time to rural customers, and we're proud of that. Finally, the other opportunity it provides is that we can lease this fiber to other third parties that further advance rural broadband, and we're happy to support that as well. On the affordability front, our focus of our mission is to provide our members with stable power supply. And we're seeing that manifest today as energy prices are more volatile than they've been in the last decade. For the last decade, think 2010 to 2020, energy prices steadily dropped year over year over year. That hasn't been the case in the last couple of years as we've emerged from the depths of the COVID-19 pandemic and seen the war in Ukraine significantly drive up natural gas prices. Natural gas prices today have increased more than 3 times what they were just a couple of years ago. Fortunately for us and for our cooperative members, we have a portfolio in place that ensures that even in these most turbulent of times, the rate impact of that is minimal. And how do you see that? When you look to your power bill, if you compared your power bill to the neighboring investor-owned utility, you would be saving $300 per year as a cooperative member. That is what we see as the critical value that we provide, that even in rising markets, higher prices at the gasoline pump, higher prices at the grocery store, we do see a little bit of impact on energy, but it is not as significant as it could be. And cooperative members are saving $300 per year compared to their competitors. Finally, for my comments in this update today, I want to talk to you about reliability. Reliability comes in 2 forms. 1, do the transmission and distribution lines stay up in a storm to keep your lights on? And 2, do we have enough generation supply to meet the maximum demand in the most extreme conditions? Think the heat of the summer and the cold of the winter. Well, today I want to let you know that we do not have enough supply coming up this summer to meet the maximum demand in the upper Midwest. Just a few weeks ago, the regional grid operator signaled that it is short of the necessary generation supply to meet the maximum demand this summer. What have we done at Wolverine to be able to support our members? We've invested significantly on your behalf to ensure that we do have enough supply. In fact, we have more than enough supply to meet the maximum demand of our members. So that's the good news. We've invested, we've seen this coming, and we are prepared for it as best we can be. The bad news is, if we are required to shed load, and what do I mean by shed load? When the maximum demand is higher than the maximum amount of supply, and there's no more supply available to fulfill that, the only thing that can be done to keep the entire grid in service is to reduce load so those two things match. And that's where, unfortunately, we still at Wolverine, on your behalf, have to reduce our load share to meet that condition, because we're all connected on the broader grid. What is driving this issue is continued significant retirements of both coal and nuclear across the upper Midwest. That is being replaced primarily with intermittent renewables. This is a challenge as we transition to a more decarbonized grid, and we'll be here for the next 5 to 7 to 10 years. And so we need to continue to prepare and do everything we can to maintain our industry-leading natural gas fleet that is the most reliable in MISO, and make sure that it's ready to run whenever we are needed in these extreme conditions. So with that, I want to say thank you to the Homeworks Tri-County Board for this opportunity to provide you this update, as well as Homeworks Tri-County's management team. And finally, thank you for your time and attention, and we're proud to be your power supplier at Wolverine. Thanks again for your time. Take care.
I really appreciate Wolverine providing that power supply update for us to give you a glimpse into the source of your electricity we provide to you. We're very proud that in partnership with Wolverine, we lead the state in providing you with power that is nearly 60% carbon-free and 20% renewable. As a Homeworks member myself, that makes me feel good about the electricity that powers my home. That leads me into the next exciting project I'd like to update you on, which is our new energy optimization program. Our state mandate for EO expired in 2021, but we didn't want to abandon a program that has been such a source of satisfaction and value for our members. Between 2016 and 2021 alone, 8,072 members participated in our former EO program, saving over 21 million kilowatt hours and receiving $1.8 million back in incentives. With this obvious value to our members in mind, we worked with our partner Slipstream to create a similar custom program to continue our EO offerings for you after the state mandate expired. Here to tell you more about the program are Homeworks employees Brandon Treeweiler and Nick Simon.
Brandon Treeweiler here with Homeworks Tri-County. And for the past 7 years, I helped facilitate the energy optimization program. And standing next to me is my replacement, Nick Simon, who's going to be implementing our new EO program.
And we're here today to tell you about 5 fast facts about our energy optimization program. Fact number 1, appliance recycling program.
Homeworks Tri-County members have a program open to them for recycling their old refrigerators and freezers, and they can receive a $25 check for every large item they recycle.
Fact number 2, electric vehicles.
Part of our new program, we have an electric vehicle piece where members can receive a $1,500 incentive for the purchase of a new electric vehicle, or $750 for the purchase of a used electric vehicle, or even a $600 incentive for the installation of a level 2 charging station.
Fact number 3 is Energy Star appliances.
Just like our old program, our new program also has an Energy Star appliance piece where members can receive incentives for installing Energy Star refrigerators, freezers, washers and dryers, and even an induction cooktop.
Fact number 4, HVAC incentives.
Just like our old program, this new program also has incentives for members that install geothermal units, air-to-air heat pumps, and mini-split systems.
Fact number 5 is commercial and industrial incentives.
The new program has a piece where our business members and our farm service members can receive incentives for installing high-efficiency lighting or even VFD motors. For any further details regarding any of these incentives, please check our website out.
At www.homeworks.org. I can't wait to be your new energy advisor.
If you're looking to implement beneficial electrification measures or make energy efficient upgrades at your home or business, I hope you'll take a minute to check out our EO page at homeworks.org to learn more about our rebates and incentives that might benefit you. Now, you heard in that video that Brandon recently handed over the EO reins to Nick Simon, and I wanted to mention that because Brandon was recently promoted to a new business development manager position here at HomeWorks. In this position, Brandon will use his insight of our service territory to help us take advantage of federal infrastructure funds in new ways and establish key partnerships that will add value for our entire membership. I believe there are several ways that this position and a new co-op focus on economic development will benefit our members. First, the goal is to create growth at the co-op, which helps to keep our rates stable for you. The position also has the potential to create new employment opportunities within our service territory and generally improve the quality of life for members within our service footprint, which is an important part of HomeWorks' mission. Next up, let's dive into a topic I know many of you are waiting to hear about, and that's our HomeWorks Connect fiber internet service. In many of our districts, the service is deployed and available to our members. Since we met with you at this time last year, we've connected 1,800 additional members to the network for a total of over 7,000 current subscribers. We're currently in the final phase of a 5-phase construction plan. Unfortunately, in phases 4 and 5, we face significant contractor labor shortages and supply chain issues that have slowed down our original construction plan. However, I can tell you that our team has worked incredibly hard to overcome these challenges, and we have reestablished momentum that we hope will allow us to complete the build out of our entire network by mid-2023. So if you're in an area that we haven't yet reached, or if you've been waiting longer than expected for a connection, I apologize and ask you to bear with us just a little bit longer. We're working hard to get to you as quickly as possible, and we're currently connecting dozens of homes per week. We continue to get positive feedback from those of you who have signed up for the service too. Members tell us they are very happy with the exceptional speed, reliability, and customer service they're experiencing. I've heard from so many of you who say that no matter how many devices you and your family use, our speed and reliability hold up with no worries about connection issues or lagging of any kind. During the past year, we even doubled our speeds for the same price, just to ensure that you have access to the very best internet service around. That's important because, as you know, quality rural broadband access has become even more vital than ever before over the past few years, and it's only becoming more of a necessity in day-to-day life. We're proud to be answering that need for members like you. One thing some of our members don't realize is that HomeWorks Connect also offers reliable and affordable home phone service. You can receive a bundled discount if you have both our internet and phone service, but you can also sign up for our phone service separately without HomeWorks Connect internet. So if you're not a HomeWorks Connect customer yet, and you're looking to upgrade your home internet or phone service, please give our fiber team a call or visit join.homeworksconnect.org. We'd love to connect with you. I want to wrap up my update by telling you about another great service we offer, which is Tri-County Propane. For 23 years, our crews have done an exceptional job of delivering great value to our customers in our area with dependable propane at competitive prices. This year, in the face of challenges, including staff shortages due to the pandemic and the current volatility of the gas market. Our drivers worked harder than ever for our customers. In fact, they hit a milestone in January of this year, delivering a record 607,549 gallons in that month. In the office, too, our experienced and highly trained propane customer service team worked to provide an incredible level of service beyond compare. With great options like 24-hour service, a budget plan, autofill, and metered service, and outstanding reliability, I'm proud of the exceptional service that Tri-County Propane continues to deliver each year. So that was a quick look at the past year of your co-op. As you can see, we've been busy, and it's been a productive year of exciting growth, change, and opportunity. Our employees work hard every day to make you their priority, whether they're building power lines, installing fiber internet, delivering propane, or answering your phone calls. Throughout the rest of this year and beyond, I can promise you that we will always maintain that commitment to you and providing you with safe, reliable, and affordable utility services that enhance your quality of life.
Thank you for providing that great update, Chris. Now, Chris is back here live to answer some of your questions before wrapping up with the most exciting part of the night, our prize giveaways. If you have a question that you'd like our CEO to try to address tonight, please type it in using the Q&A function. We received a few questions from attendees prior to tonight's meeting during the registration process, so Chris will answer those now.
Thanks, Casey. The questions that we received during the pre-registration process are fairly minimal, but there's 3 of them here that I'm going to address. If you have other ones, feel free to send them to our moderator. The first one here is I want to learn more about electric vehicles and Homeworks EV offerings. That was covered in a little bit of depth through the energy optimization update with Brandon and Nick, but we incentivize up to $1,500 new electric vehicles and up to $750 used electric vehicles. We also offer a $600 incentive for level 2 in-home charging. So fairly attractive offerings. If you'd like to get more information on those, and if help on identifying even vehicle models, for instance, Brandon and Nick would be happy to help you if you could call into our office. Next question here, does streaming cost extra with the internet plan? So streaming TV is what I believe is being asked here. And streaming does cost extra depending on the actual service that you subscribe to. So Homeworks doesn't offer streaming television, but we would offer an internet plan which would give you access to streaming TV services such as YouTube TV, Hulu, Fubo, and the like. Those, in many cases, those streaming services can and are saving our members money who are currently in satellite or cable television subscriptions. Next question here. I want to hear more about the reasoning behind the higher cost of electricity. So a lot of that was covered previously in the program, but I'll just highlight some things. The first is we're seeing rising wholesale power costs. And that's being experienced at our generation and transmission level, specific to the fluctuability or the volatility in the natural gas market, and then additional renewable and intermittent resources coming online. In addition, your cooperative has 3 different financial metrics in their long-term financial policy. One is our tier or times interest earned ratio. One is our modified debt service coverage that's required by our lender. And another is our equity, which is also a requirement of our lender in order to qualify for attractive financing or interest rates. And so in order to maintain those financial indicators, we had to increase our availability charge on your bill as minimal amount as we possibly could. And with everything else that's rising, we are cognizant of pressure on our members' pocketbooks, and we're going to do our best to maintain those rates as stable as possible. Next question here. How many votes did Corinna and Jeff receive? 8.3% of the district voted, 49 votes for Corinna and 37 votes for Mr. Felposh or Jeff Felposh. Tell us more about your solar offerings is the next question here. So we have 3 different solar offerings here at Homeworks. One is a community solar, where if members don't want to make an investment in renewable energy on their property, they can instead buy solar panels and the associated energy from the co-op directly. And if you're interested in that, please give us a call. If members would rather invest in solar energy at their property, they have two different programs they can take advantage of. One is a net metering program, and the other is a buy all, sell all. So simply different ways of breaking apart the billing. To get specifics on solar energy, the payback of solar investments, and all transparent details, we ask that members call the co-op and have those discussions about solar energy and your possible interest in investment before you make that investment so that we can help you as an honest partner. With that, I don't have any additional questions, so I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to thank you all so much for the questions and get to really the best part of the program here. So I'm going to turn it back over to our Executive Assistant, Michelle Hoon, and our Manager of Employee and Member Engagement, Angel McCliggett, for the prize drawings tonight. Thank you.
All righty, let's draw some prizes this evening. We're going to start with our small prizes and work our way up to the big prizes. So let's start off with our $25 Homeworks bill credits. There's going to be 5 of those this evening. All right, draw some good ones there, Angel. All right, thank you. Okay, our first bill credit winner is Alice Churchill from Hubbardston. Our second $25 bill credit winner is Stanley Saylor of Bannister. Our next one is Jeanette Murray of Ashley. Then we also have Brittany LaRue of St. John's. And our last $25 winner this evening is Maggie Schultz of Crystal. Congratulations on those.
Congratulations.
Next, we're going to move on to 4 $50 bill credits. All right. All right. Our first $50 bill credit winner is for Kelly Oberlin from Carson City. Then we have Richard Smith from Elsie. Then we have Kristen Litwiller from Bannister and Tim Graham of St. John's. Congratulations on $50. Hey, part of caring for our communities is supporting local businesses. So we're going to give away 2 $50 gift cards to local businesses. First, we have a gift card to the Middleton Diner. All right. That winner is Bruce Denovich of St. John's. And then the next one we have is a gift card to Farm Country Cheese House.
Ooh, I love their cheese.
I do too. That winner is Andrea Clark of St. John's. Okay, our next prize this evening is going to be a Fitbit Versa. All right, and that is for Raymond Hall of Elwell. Our next prize of the evening is going to be an Amazon Fire Stick that does the streaming that Chris talked about. Yeah. That is for Patrick Hall of Blanchard. All right, our next prize this evening is going to be a Nest thermostat. All right, and we have Kaylee Rhea of Ashley. Let's see what else we got here. All right, now we're going to give away an Echo Show device. That winner is Rebecca Wetzel of Elsie. All right, the next one this evening is another streaming device. It's a Roku Ultra. That winner is Annette Schneider of Elsie. All right, next up this evening is a Ring doorbell. That one is Luke Carmody of St. John's. All right, now we're going to give away my favorite prize to give away, and that's the Roomba vacuum. Does the work for you.
Yep.
The winner of that is Lisa Munich of Stanton. Congratulations. All right, and for our final prize, our grand prize this evening, we're going to give away a 55-inch smart TV. Drum roll.
I don't know if that's right.
All right, and that winner this evening is for Josh Carmody of Elsie. Congratulations.
Yay.
All right, That was it for the prizes. Congratulations to all of our winners. If you want a bill credit, it will be automatically credited to your account. If you want another prize, we'll follow up with you very soon to figure out a plan to get that prize to you.
Don't forget to turn in your bingo cards